Yo!
And I've only had to use violence for necessary defense. And I've certainly never used it to take a life. And I've certainly never used it to take a life. And I've certainly never used it to take a life. And I've certainly never used it to take a life. And I've certainly never used it to take a life. And I've certainly never used it to take a life. And I've certainly never used it to take a life. The monks always taught me that all life is sacred. Even the life of the tiniest spider fly caught in its own web. Even the life of the tiniest spider fly caught in its own web.
And now the nations of... And now the nations of the world who hate Johnny, presented by Eva. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman. Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo, and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana. Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Niger, Nigeria, Chad, and Liberia, Egypt, Benin, Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, and Mali, Sierra Leone, and Algier, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Mayotte, and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, then Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan.
You got anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division?
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house.
Or in the ring?
No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him and wear his makeup and his dresses and use his skin as a coat like the ancient Irish did.
Well, that's your winner, Sam Hay!
Hello, 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 everybody. How are we doing? This fun. Why am I... There we go. Oh, wait a minute. We gotta do a different background music real quick. Hold on. Let me get back to, Dragon Roost. Actually, you know what? Let's do some Skyrim. There we go. Okay, so... Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to today's stream. Let's do our usual greeting of people as they come in. We'll give people a couple minutes to filter on in, you know. Welcome to McSkittles, Akakun, Phoenix Fire 3301.1. That's right, I said the whole name. Just like a pimp named Slickback. The Best Remy, Bell 172. Hold on. Oh. Wait, Meteor, Jigan, Francis Karma, Swinburnian, Optera, Sparky's Tech Corner, everybody, all the people are coming on in. Very nice. We are just chilling with the Skyrim lo-fi paints. We have a few things to go over with, but the first thing that we're gonna go over with is, Academics, please respond. .pdf. This is the V Cushy doc. It's pretty much, I'm just gonna read it and then give my opinion and stuff, but this is just gonna be like a say hi to YouTube. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna do like a YouTube intro, but this document reading is going to go into a separate video as well. So hello everybody, this is Eva the Elfpire. Today we have a unique reading. This is called Academics Please Respond.pdf. It was posted by Kirsch in response to several articles that had come out basically slandering her by a journalist by the name of Anna Valens, at the time employed by Vice. I had to check her employment status. I'm not sure if she is anymore, but she probably is. So that being said, let us go ahead and get this over here. Push this button. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Alright, here we go. Proceeds to edit live. Okay, so here we go. Why is Vice's waypoint of it's just, yeah, pushing the 2018 style cancel culture for VTV, or an open letter from Kush verse Dahl? I feel like I said that wrong. Tell me what the phonetic was, like the phonetic pronunciation of her last name is, because I have no idea. I still can't believe I was in the know. Oh, I know, that's wild. That's absolutely wild. For those who don't know, and hello, Nano. For those who don't know, Sparky's Tech Corner got a shout out in the Know Your Means article on this situation. But let's continue here. Hi, I'm Curse. I'm a VTuber, which means I stream with a digital avatar that looks like this. There they are. This is factual information. You can catch me on my stream on Twitch or YouTube. I play games, watch memes, share my thoughts on the news, you know, what streamers do. I basically just tangent on whatever I find interesting, and my honorable chatters affectionately call me a whiplash streamer. I have over 9,000 browser tabs, so Jesus Christ, and 184,000 fans across YouTube, Twitch, and X. Yay, Koroshi. You said it right. Oh, I did say it right. Wow. Make it sound German. I'm not trustworthy, okay. Anyway. That's so rude to say that when I'm at this point. Okay. Also, I'm not a Nazi. They walk funny, did too much math, and didn't like to laugh. And they probably would hate me and most of my friends. So how come you keep calling me one? Vice used to be known for honest, real stuff, kind of like what Gawker aspired to be before, you know, I decided to step into the ring, brother. You did a whole issue dedicated to people who are mentally ill. You sent Dennis Rodman to North Korea. You even used to call out the mainstream media for not getting YouTube. In any event, starting about a month ago, Waypoint, which is one of your verticals, a quasi-independent outlet, a film gaming news site that you are trying to revive, something most people don't even know exists either way. It started publishing articles about me saying I'm a bigot, a Nazi simp, and I'm responsible for all sorts of online harassment. It's completely untrue, of course, but also why me, and why now? I'm an anime thoughts woman. What could a once respectable news organization want with me? Is it 2018 all over again? Is Vice the PC police for VTubers? So again, Vice, what the fuck? Okay, let's break it down. I know I've covered this in my past couple of streams, but Vice isn't a subscriber yet. Maybe if I tangent about their Colombian donkey fucking video. Oh my god, what? What? It's... Okay, wow, jeez. A few more times, they'll come around. Here's the headline for the first article you published about me. Why is this gamer sub VTuber pushing the great replay? Yes, I remember this one. Not to brag or anything, but I have over 184,000 fans. You're accusing me of bigotry because one of my fans is a supposed Nazi? That's like saying McDonald's supports communism because Kim Jong-un likes Big Macs, it's true. HT, but to Kim Jong-un on X. By the way, that burger looks disgusting. Let's see here. Rather than back up this outrageous accusation, the article starts by talking about my sponsor, Gamer Subs. Yeah, this is where we have a problem. This is where, personalities like Wiggle Mindset and stuff have mentioned that, like, hey, you know, torturous interference is a thing. So, however, Gamer Subs is in hot water with many VTuber fans due to the behavior of one particular creator working with the company. Music Talents Kershi Verstal. An anime fox girl, I said anime, I'm so sorry, anime fox girl with a knack for sharing alt-right talking points. Kersh has landed herself in controversy after controversy online due to her right-wing beliefs. Really, wow. At this point, it begs the question whether GamerSuts will one day pull the plug on the VTuber for what the fuck? Yeah, oh my god. So for those who didn't know, I did not read the article. I have a 3-strike rule when it comes to defamatory content, and like that almost hit all 3 strikes the first paragraph. Anyway, my first time hearing of all this supposed controversy. Literally, I've been sponsored by GamerSups since September of 2023. This is a tactic called manufacturing consensus, that's true, yeah. Where activists claim everyone agrees with them to make their points seem legitimate. Note that this paragraph doesn't cite a single source. But also, it's true I've never hidden my political leanings, and yet I've never heard of any controversy until this article started pretending there was one. I had a few weirdos on Twitter harassing me, but as an oppressed person of anime, I am used to that kind of thing. Yeah, that's true. I mean, even when I was at school, like being an anime fan or like being in the anime club, oh yeah, you were a fucking loser. That's just how it was back then. And so the fact that, like, there is this attempt to normalize it, it's nice, but a lot of tourists are convenient. They're conveniently forgetting that, they were giving people like us swirlies only 10, 15 years ago. Anyway. It did do. And the sources cited in the article are anonymous posts on Reddit. Really? Even the people making the post claim they don't watch me and are just repeating hearsay. So a vice journalist is repeating hearsay from someone who's repeating hearsay. Really? Yeah, yeah, really? Really? Here's the headline of the second article Vice published about me. VTubing has an elephant in the room. Bigotry. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Please join the 41%, Ada. You will never be alone. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I really didn't mean to laugh, but oh, holy crap. Okay, let's see. Obviously, I think harassment is back. I don't do it, and I tell all my fans not to do it. It's true. The suggestion made repeatedly in this article that I and my fans endorse harassment is totally false. In fact, fully half of the tweets quoted in this article are from a person who goes by nbinted or bits. Oh, look at that. Like, you, oh, Jesus, oh, man. Okay, so, Bits, you got a freaking unintentional fucking call-out. You piece of human muffin. That's right, I don't know what a human muffin is. I don't even know if that's an insult. You have to decide for that. Okay, anyway, Bits, who is serially harassed me for months, yeah. Does Anna Valens mention this in her article? No. Do I have proof of this harassment? Which I wouldn't have shared if Vice bothered to ask. Absolutely. Here are just a couple of examples, and yeah, here are some examples of Bint, Echo, and Binted, an absolutely unhinged individual who is chronically on Twitter and online. And I'm not even gonna repeat them, because again, that's my thing. I'm just, it's here for you guys to read of your own volition. Here, let me go ahead and just a couple more. There. Guys should be able to read that a little bit better. But let's continue. On to page 6. Article doesn't talk about this. Of course it doesn't, because why would it? The article again talks about my sponsor GamerSups. It tries to make it seem like there's some sort of controversy brewing. Original. Earlier this week, independent VTuber Ren Penless, oh god, that again, announced the end of her partnership with gaming supplement company GamerSups. According to Penrose, Penrose, her decision came due to their associations with Creetosis strongly conflict with my own, as well as a lack of communication from the company on this issue. Look, I love that Gamer supports VTubers from every side of the political spectrum. I do too. That's one of the things that makes them such an amazing partner. That and their awesome supplements. Use code CURSE for 10% off your gamers sub purchase and orders. Oh my god, fuck it, I love it. No, seriously though, use code CURSE for 10% off. Oh, thank you, Rigo, for the 5. Can't see them, I'll have to catch up after I get off from work. Just want to say hi. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I hope to continue work with Gamer Subs, but if this effort to cancel me is successful, I have to wonder who's next. Yeah, that's true. Here's the third article, Vice Rosa. Okay, here we go. 3 for 3. Waypoint stands with Anavalence. Okay, yeah, this is when I knew that Vice was probably going to take action and probably going to remove the articles. And I will explain why after we read this, because they might reveal why themselves. Okay, so it's time to definitively stand on business and say that what's happening to Waypoints on Anavalence is utterly unacceptable. It's unacceptable, guys. Yeah, almost like a harassment campaign against them, right? Again, I do agree that harassment is bad. No one should do it. I don't do it. I tell my fans not to do it. The article says everything she's going through, but I'll sum it up. Anna is being attacked for simply asking questions about certain areas of the VTubing character community, which she's an active part of. Just asking questions. Look, I read those articles pretty carefully. I don't see a lot of questions, mostly a lot of statements based on Reddit's threads and other anonymous sources. This seems very targeted at me, and why? I'm an anime fox girl VTuber. Your Vice. What the fuck? Yeah, again, this is extremely... What the fuck? Anyway, also this happened to me. This happened in the article. The time for games is over. What the fuck? What? Why is this in the article? Why is this? Oh my god. Okay, this is... I don't even understand, Jesus. Okay, Anyway, not to be all, you started it, but you literally started it. There was no controversy. No one apart from a few anonymous internet trolls Vice quotes in its articles was butthurt about what I was doing or saying on my stream until you started writing articles calling me a Nazi. And now you're calling me a bully and saying it's time to start a war. Yeah, for real, Oh, Jesus. This is 2018 style cancel culture all over again. Or is it VTubergate? Yeah, I saw that, I found that hashtag. Anyway, it's getting pretty tired. Someone says something you don't agree with, start saying they're controversial, name drop all the brands they work with, playing the victim card, or rage tweet at them until the sponsors bail. This is a playbook used over and over again. Yes, it's very true. We've seen it, quite a few times now. Anyway, if we're just asking questions, I have one. How come in the middle of all this Anna Valence is asking people to buy her gifts on Throne? Oh, that's weird. Surely this isn't just a big branding opportunity for someone who wants to become the definitive VTuber journal, right? Right? I don't want to go to court over this. Oh, shit. But if you keep calling me a Nazi, you keep calling for my sponsors to drop me, when will someone like, no, it's absolutely, holy shit though. There it is. People are like, oh, Kirsch isn't gonna sue them. How can they prove it? Like, there you go. They're saying, and this is the vernacular of somebody who I would 100% support their lawsuit, because it's not something they want to do, and you know they don't want to do it. They waited over a month and 3 articles deep before they even made a response about this. So I can see this reading as an unofficial cease and desist. Anyway, seriously, Vice, is this what you want? You want to be the PC police for VTubers on your front page? Right now you have articles about crazy horny mud truckers and how cool it is to be goth in Ukraine right now. But my stream is too controversial. I'm asking nicely, ooh whoa. Oh, damn it, Curse, you got me to say ooh whoa. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god, damn it, she fucking got me. God damn it. Okay, please take these articles down and stop pretending there's a controversy where there isn't. I promise if you do, I'll go back to streaming and you can go back to reporting on the Berlin 6 Toy Expo, or whatever it is you do now. Love Kurt's absolute expert at throwing shade, by the way. Absolutely love it. Oh god, and there it is, clipped. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you. Freaking got me to say ooh whoa. Okay, Jesus. Let's do this for quick. Okay. Quick, clip it, blurb it. Alright guys, now we are going to be moving on to our... I did. You know what? That's okay though. Oh, thank you, Nerdy Texas Accountant, for the 5. And again, yeah, I did say it again, but it's okay, because there's like... I'm going up. Okay, Rigo, I got that one. Okay, so I do have all the super chats. Cool. Alright, so thank you very much, for reading through that with me. Krypton Shift, yes, I know. That is off the docket now. Now this one. McSkittles, if you are here, sound off in the chat, because I believe, and I could be wrong on this, because a lot of people have, they've asked that I do this, but next is, yeah, Spider Bro, you almost got me to say it, but not yet. We'll do that another time. But, this is, oh Jesus, it's 20 minutes long, and it's called My 50 Cal Exploded. It was suggested to us by McSkittles. This is, with Kentucky Ballistics, so I'm not sure what to expect here, but like we're gonna go in it, we're gonna click play, and we're just gonna see what happens. Let me go ahead and turn off the background music though. Diddy might get away. Very weak prosecutor. We'll see what happens. Remember, it's not up to the prosecutor, it's up to the jury. Okay, that's a little loud. Let's turn you down just a bit.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott.
There we go. Much better.
And I'm going to tell you about how my 50 cal exploded, and I almost bit the dust about 2 weeks ago.
Holy shit!
I know a lot of you are probably wanting me to...
Oh my god! This is from the... Okay, that's the table. That looks like the remnants of the 50 cal, but oh my god, dude, he almost fucking died. Like, holy shit. Okay,
to explain my injuries, and I'm going to do that, but I think it's best we start from the beginning. I know some of you are going to try to skip around in this video. I highly recommend you stay tuned and listen to all of this.
I'm gonna do my best.
But for those who are going to skip around, let me clear something up first. This was not the bear that we torture tested, and this was a complete freak accident. There's nothing that I did to have caused this. So April 9th, 2021, we come out here to shoot a fire hydrant with some slap rounds using my Serbu RN50. So we have the Serbu RN50 with the 36-inch long heavy barrel, and we're gonna go ahead and go big or go home and start out with this. This is a 50 BMG slap tracer round. The slap rounds tend to go a little to the right, so I aimed a little to the left, but this one actually hit true to where I was aiming. We hit right here. And
wow,
you can see that thing is smoking. And then we blew right through the back of this thing. Everything was going pretty smooth. We shot the fire hydrant several times, but the slap rounds were acting a little funny. One of the slap rounds hit like 1.5 feet low and to the right. I say we hit it with one more slap round, but this time aim for the thickest part of the fire hydrant and see what happens.
That was way low. Yeah, the muzzle flash is a lot, larger. Holy shit, that is, oh my god.
The gun was functioning normally, as it always has. I've been using this gun for a long time now, and I've never had any issues out of it. So before all this happened, we took one last shot, and it was actually really, really cool. The round was stuck out the back of the fire hydrant. This is a 50 BMG silver red tip armor piercing incendiary tracer. So we went through the top of the fire hydrant. Look at that.
Okay.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. It's just stuck
Okay,
out
that's
the
impressive.
back. After that, I decided I was going to take one last shot with a slap round and try to hit the thickest spot on the fire hydrant. So before I loaded my last slap round, I know that there was no barrel obstruction because I literally found the round in the fire hydrant. But this last round that I loaded into my Serbu RN50 was a very, very hot round, and I had no idea. And there's really no way for me to have ever known
A very hot.
that this
the
round
rounds
was
were
as hot
under
as it
pressure.
was. So here you can see me taking the last shell casing out, and now I'm loading in the slap round.
Okay, everything looks normal.
I screw the cap on all the way, and the gun closes completely, and everything is functioning as normal. And one thing is something someone may mention is maybe I didn't screw the cap on all the way. Well, you can clearly see the cap is screwed on all the way, and this gun actually will not close if the cap is not screwed on all the way.
I heard the click.
So everything was functioning good on the gun. What I didn't know was the slap round that I put inside it was extra, extra hot, and I had no idea. And there's really no way for me to have ever known. These rounds are extremely rare, and they're very old.
So when he says, that they are extra, extra hot, he's saying they're just packed with too much gunpowder. They're overpressured, right?
They're like $100 a piece. These aren't manufactured anymore, and really there's no way you can really know what's happened to them over time as they've passed hand to hand. I was under the impression that these were genuine military surplus rounds and hadn't been tampered with. So now I'm gonna actually show you what happened.
Uh-oh.
It's not graphic. All the graphic stuff happened after the fact, and I'm gonna tell you all about that, but I am gonna show you what happened just so you can see what happened to me that day.
Okay. Oh my god. Holy shit. That, oh my god. It just exploded.
So when I pulled the trigger, the gun exploded almost immediately. So the first thing that went was this cap. And this cap is solid steel, and it is very, very heavy. If you look right here, the threads are sheared off of this gun completely. I spoke with Mark Serbu, and he said that normal pressures are 55,000 PSI. And for those threads to have sheared off and this cap to have just blown off like that, we're looking at over 85,000 PSI. So the cap blows off.
Approaching 100K.
It's kind of hard to put these on because of my little nose brace. I'll explain. But safety glasses are on, and this cap, you can see this little crescent here.
Okay,
this cap hit me
it went right into his
there.
eye.
I'm not really sure which way, probably more like this.
Dude, the safety glasses saved his life.
When this cap hit
That
me in
would
the
have been
face,
an orbital fracture. Seriously, that would have been, like, he would have been done.
it broke my orbital bone in 3 spots.
Oh,
Here,
okay, so
here,
it did. Okay, so it did still break his orbital bone. I was, okay. It would have been a lot worse without the safety glasses, though. Like, I don't think he would have had an eye.
Here. It also broke my nose, and that's why I have this on. I've had to have facial surgery to repair all this. Here's the really bad part, though. On this lower, normally, there's these 2 ears that stick up right here. And this is what prevents you from closing the gun when the cap's not on all the way. If the cap is on all the way, it will fit perfectly right here with those ears pushed up against it. When the cap blew off the gun, it came straight back, shearing those ears off the lower. One of these is still at the hospital, and this is the one we found. This one zipped right past my head, went inside my hat,
Holy
blew a hole
shit.
through it, and took it off my
Oh my
head,
God.
what appears
Oh my
7 to
God.
8 feet. Now the other one is what almost ended me. The other ear hit me right here in the throat. It proceeded to lacerate my jugular vein and then punctured a hole in my right lung. As for my hand, my best guess is this is what did it. In the video, you can see that the stalk almost disappears instantly.
Wow.
I believe it came in a downward motion and hit my finger. You have
Just
your
shattered
natural
your-
bend in your index finger. Well, this bone right here looked like a V. So my finger looked like a big W. So back to the lacerated jugular. I've now been hit in the throat, and I'm not really sure what happened because when this cap hit me in the face, I went blind in my right eye instantly. I have vision coming back now, and they say my eyes should make a full recovery. But in that moment,
thank
I went
God.
completely blind in this eye, and it was like I had been punched. And I went backwards, and I landed on all fours. A lot of you wonder who is behind the camera in my videos. This is my dad. His name
Oh,
is
what's
also
up?
Scott. If he had not been
Nice.
out here with me, that would have been it for me. He come running up and he let me know of my injuries because I was still in a daze. I've just been punched in
Yeah.
the face by a big
You're
metal
basically
cap. And he let me know real quick that there was a hole in my neck and I was losing a lot of blood really fast. My dad shoved his thumb into my neck and said, "Put your thumb there." Now that I'm aware of what's going on, I took my left thumb, I took my shirt, wrapped it in my shirt, and I shoved it as far into my neck as
Oh
possible.
my God.
I was not aware that my jugular
Wow.
was lacerated, but I did know this is really bad. I have a law enforcement background, and I've been trained in injuries and wounds and gunshots and things like that. And I know
Yeah,
very
he
well
has a
that if you
basic
get hit in the
knowledge
neck,
set.
it's not good because you can't tourniquet a neck. After I had plugged the
No,
hole,
you
I
can't.
applied extreme pressure, pinched my head down into my hand, and made a run for the truck. So the truck here was right near us. There's a trailer attached.
What's his
I had
good?
run around the front. I jumped in the passenger seat. Dad jumped in, and we took off. And this all happened in a matter of seconds. I would say under a
Seconds.
minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We were in that truck and just hauling tail into town. Something
Dude,
I
his
forgot to
dad
mention, this
fucking handled
upper weighs
business.
like 25 pounds. And you can see in the
Mad
video
respect to
that
his
it
dad.
just gets thrown off the table.
Yeah, it
so
does. It
much
just goes.
pressure came out the back of this upper that it launched it off the table. It's an insane amount of energy that was thrown into my body. So now we're driving very fast into town. I am applying constant pressure to my throat and I'm breathing very slowly, trying to control my heart rate because the faster your heart rate, the faster you're going to bleed. My dad's driving, so
Yeah, that's
I thought it
true.
would be nice of me to call the ambulance. My dad didn't agree with this, but I wanted to do it myself because I wanted to try and stay awake. I needed to be doing something to keep myself conscious. If you have an iPhone, there's this nifty little feature on the side here, and if you hit that button one too many times, it'll call 911.
Hey, yo!
This can be kind of annoying when you're trying to shut off your alarm in the morning, but when there's a lot of bodily fluids on your phone and you can't open it, it comes in really handy. I got on the phone with
No,
911 and
that
I
is
let them know
okay. I
what had
gotta
happened.
say right now, holy shit! Like, first of all, absolutely, the dad was in the wrong here, thinking that he shouldn't have called 911. Calling 911, letting him know what happened, and letting him know that they're all the way to the hospital, gave the emergency room team more than enough time to actually prep everything for him and when he arrived. So, 1, absolutely, he should have called 911. 2, I did not know this about iPhones, and I am very impressed by that feature. That is an extremely useful, you can hold it for 10 seconds too. Okay, that's good to know.
Happened, and then we were coming into town and they were going to send an ambulance to meet us halfway. There were several times where I thought I was going to pass out. And I knew if I passed out that that was going to be it, because my dad's driving. If I pass out, who's going to keep applying pressure to my neck to keep me from bleeding out? Times like this, you really need something to focus on, and I focused on my kids. I had their faces in my brain, and I just focused on them, and I fought as hard as I could. I stayed conscious the entire time. We met the ambulance halfway. They got me loaded up, and we took off towards the hospital. And like I said, I know that I was in a bad spot, and I don't know if you know this, but if your jugular is completely severed, you have 30 seconds. I knew that being hit in the throat, I may not have much time, but the closer we got to the hospital, the more my confidence built, and I thought, hey, maybe I'm gonna be all right. When I was in the ambulance, I asked them to cut my shirt off because I was having trouble breathing, and I thought maybe I'd been hit in the chest as well. They cut my shirt off. There wasn't anything there, but when I got to the hospital, they x-rayed me, and they said my right lung had collapsed because it had filled with blood, and that was from this little guy here puncturing my lung as well. So from there, they had to intubate me while I was wide awake, and I tell you, that is not fun. Take this long metal rod with a point on it, and they stick it through your rib cage.
Oh,
and,
yeah, intubation. Yep. Oh, you got it the worst kind.
After that, I was feeling a little better. I could breathe a little better. And then they wanted me to take my thumb out of my neck, and I was like, we're not taking my thumb out of my neck. You just wrap it up with some tape and stay there. But they told me I had to take my thumb out of my neck. So they had a bunch of gauze and packing, and as soon as I pulled it out, they packed my throat. When I pulled my thumb out, that's when I saw my finger, and they said that I audibly said, oh, that's not good, because my finger looked like a big W. They informed me after that they were going to have to life flight me to Vanderbilt Hospital in Nashville, Tennessee.
Holy shit, he had to be hella...
Very good hospital.
He had to be hella vaxxed, goddamn.
Very good doctors. Obviously, I'm here making this video. Big shout out to Vanderbilt Hospital. You guys are the best. So now they're about to knock me out, and at this moment, I realized that this may be the last time that I see my wife or see my dad, because once they knock you out, you know, that's it. Either they're gonna fix you or you're not waking up. My wife had arrived. I called her in there. I held her hand, and we had words. And then I called my dad in to pray. And after that, I remember waking up in Vanderbilt Hospital, hooked up to every machine possible.
Wow,
I'm gonna throw some pictures in here. So they did a number on me. So you can see this cut here, and this actually goes all the way down to right here. To repair my jugular and my lung, they had to open up my chest completely. They cut me completely open, just like open heart surgery. They told me a guy my size should hold 6 to 8 units of blood, and total, from all the blood I lost from the initial injury and the surgeries, they had to give me 5 units. There was also a there was also a chance that I could have had a stroke. To repair your jugular vein, they have to pinch it off. Well, your jugular vein supplies the oxygenated blood to your brain. So they can only pinch it off for so long. They pinch it off, they repair it, then after that, when they open it back up, all that blood rushes into your brain, and there's a chance you could have a stroke. Praise God, I did not have a stroke as well. As for my hand and my face, they had to do surgery on that as well. I have pins in my finger to hold it in place. And like I said, they had to repair my orbital bone in 3 spots. As you can see, they cut me here and right here. And they also cut inside my mouth, all the way back here to the front to be able to get to all of those spots. So I had a breathing tube in, but I still wanted to talk. I wanted to know what had happened to me and what was going to happen. Well, my nurse, Cody, shout out to that guy, best nurse ever, brought me a dry erase board so that I could write and ask questions. I wanted to talk to my wife. Well, he would call her for me. And then I would write out what I wanted to say, and he would say it over the phone for me, and then I could sit there and talk to my wife. Also, I really wanted a mellow yellow. I was craving it so bad. When I was finally unhooked for everything, I remember sitting in my room, and he peeked his head in. He was like, "Can you eat and drink now?" And I said, "Yeah." And he handed me a mellow yellow. Coolest nurse ever.
Oh,
so for about
that's
2 days,
awesome.
I had tubes coming out of the front of my chest, 1 tube coming out of my right side, and 1 tube coming out from behind my collarbone to drain everything around my lungs and I had to carry this little
Yeah.
vacuum pack with me. They removed those really quick. I'm healing extremely fast. They kicked me out of trauma within a few days. This happened on April 9th, which is a Friday. I went home the following Saturday. There is a lot more to this
insane.
story when it comes to my injuries and everything that I had to do
Yellow
to
is the
overcome them.
competitor to Mountain
Long
Dew.
story
Okay.
short, I shouldn't be standing here. I should be 6 foot under, and if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So I know there's one big question that you're all
Yeah, there we go. That's pretty much, that's the bulk of what the video had to show. My God, I see why you guys wanted me to see that. Holy shit, that was freaking wild. Like, there are a number of things that because he followed safety procedure, like, and then his dad did, and everybody did their job the way they should. That's why we have these systems in place. Because when they work properly and when everyone's doing their job, what could have been certain death actually, like, no, he's alive. So that's extremely cool. Now you know the story behind the gift. I do, that's freaking wild. Okay, so we have next video here coming up is video that was sent to me privately. This is Home on the Range News. They only have about 50,000 subscribers, but they asked me because I have a background in Seminole law, but I got really interested in maritime law because of living on a boat and stuff. So people were asking me if this kind of stuff is legal. We're going to see what we see here. This is about 15 minutes. We might not go through all of it. We're going to see. But this is called, it was made 6 days ago, and it's called Cops Appear to Declare War on Liveaboards. For those who don't know, I moved out and got emancipation at 16. I moved onto a sailboat a couple years later, and I actually only recently, after a good number of years, 5, I think, or 6. Anyway, after a good number of years, I'm actually on land and like on dry land for the first time in a hot minute. So this is something that like is relevant to me simply because I would be classified as a liveaboard in many of these areas. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about.
Living on a boat in Key West can seem like a dream.
Whoa, hold on. Here we go. So, no rights on the water. Cops mad up on... Whoa! What? Jesus! Bad Apple report. What's this? Oh. Fair use copyright disclaimer under 6OK 1 more.
Living on a boat in Key West can seem like a dream.
Key
But
West,
the local Florida
yeah.
Fish and Wildlife Conservation
I'm not
Agency
surprised.
is calling for the destruction of liveaboard boats that they claim are illegal, derelict vessels. The owners
Yeah.
are being arrested and their boats confiscated and destroyed.
Liveaboards say they're being harassed by FWC officers who they claim are working for the developers of waterfront properties. FWC says they're only enforcing state law.
And you know what? They probably are only enforcing state law, but state law is not always right. So there's that. Oh, well, Bad News Badger. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships, and welcome to membership of Varena Riki. Derp21. Oh, awesome. Nice. Gecko617. And Troubleshooter. Yeah, Florida would also explain why this was publicly shared. Sunshine Matsuno. Yeah. Florida has, like, I will say this, like, as a liveaboard, Florida has the worst reputation out of any state other than maybe Hawaii. In terms of, like, how they treat their transients and the people who live on boats in general. Basically, they treat you like you're trash, they treat you like you're a junkie, they treat you like you're homeless. It doesn't matter how good or how nice your boat is or how well kept it is, they view you as a derelict boat that's been floating in the local acreage for 5 years and is an eyesore to the community. So it's extremely adversarial to even live on a boat in Florida. I've never been to Florida in a boat. I almost was, but I decided not to go that far south when I was going down the intercoastal. So yeah.
The level of distrust between the two reached an all-time high earlier this month when FWC Captain David Dupree shot this man, Adam Bounds, inside his houseboat on Cowkey Channel.
What?
We'd recently interviewed Adam. He didn't hide his frustration.
I'm trying to call my boat a derelict houseboat.
Okay, which boat is yours?
My houseboat is the one with the American flag on
Oh,
it.
that one. I talked to you before.
They arrested me on Friday.
Wow, look at that.
Okay.
On the morning of Tuesday, October 15th, Adam Bounds wrote on his Facebook page, "I think I'm going to make a big statement and run in front of a bus on US 1. Maybe then someone will take notice."
Oh,
About
Jesus.
an hour later, he called FWC's headquarters in Tallahassee.
Adam told the Blue Paper that he'd called to make an official complaint. He was hoping to get protection from the harassment he said he suffered from FWC officers. Local FWC officers used the suicide threat to obtain the location of Adam's phone from the phone company and sent 2 patrol boats out to his houseboat. Within 7 minutes of arrival, FWC's Captain David Dupree had climbed aboard, pried open the locked door, pulled out his gun and fired.
Motherfucker.
He hit Adam multiple times, at least once in the abdomen. He was airlifted in critical condition to a Miami hospital.
Oh my God.
Doctors had to reattach his intestines and remove his spleen. Law enforcement accounts have somewhat varied and include Adam threatening to blow himself and officers up with a container of gasoline. Adam denies having tried to kill himself or anyone else. Whatever happened, Adam is not alone in claiming that FWC is out of control and bent on harassing liveaboards.
No, they really are.
David Espinoza, who lives aboard near Boca Chica.
That's FWC Fish and Wild game, Fish and Wildlife game stuff. Wait, without announcement? I'm not sure. That's the thing. I want to see the body cam footage. These guys should have body cam footage. And here's the thing, like, look, you're going into the, like, they're going into this one, right? This is a nice boat. I can tell by, like, that's a nice grill. The non-stick skid stuff on the boat is nice and white. It's not yellowed. The sails look like they're in decent condition, or is that the bimini? I'm not sure. The kayaks are put up, like, you can tell a derelict, like, falling apart, rotty boat from a boat that's just actively being lived.
Chica sent us this video. It shows FWC storming his houseboat.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
The reason for the warrant? David had been 8 days late in paying a $73 ticket. The ticket was for failure to remove an old registration decal.
Get on the ground!
For that, you reacted. Oh my God, are you for a failure to appear? Are you fucking kidding me?
On the ground.
Holy shit!
I don't. It's a mess. This is just a big mess. I can't afford a lawyer because I make $12 an hour.
This was a derelict investigation, he said. The vessel has no functioning motor and cannot operate. Had original intended purpose. The throttle controls and steering controls are dismantled and inoperable. That's a lie. My stern wheel is up there, and it does turn the rotors on the rudders.
Did he test any of this when he came?
No,
on board?
he came through taking pictures and just it was.
Oh God damn it!
Belittling. I felt like he was belittling.
You're right.
I'm fighting for my house. This is where I live.
She can't. Yeah.
I love my boat.
She can't afford a lawyer.
We lost everything in Irma. I work. My husband works. This is not
Hurricane Irma. That's what I figured. Yeah. So this is what happens a lot with people in Florida and stuff. Is they go in and like a hurricane will wipe out a lot of what they have, but they still have their boats because boats are good in a hurricane. I've been through several hurricanes on my boat. I've never had a problem. Anyway, a good reminder, every single law is enforced by the barrel of a gun at the end of the day. That's true. That's true. That's very true.
And for them to come in and say, this is just a pile of junk, and that hurts my feelings. I mean, he said, you should want to live better than this. And
is that what he said?
Yeah, he was implying that this, how do you live like this?
No fucking way. Wow,
said,
you did.
We live like this because this is how we live. We lost everything, you know? And this is all we
You
have.
absolute ass.
This is my home, and I love it. I have made it through breast cancer. I have made it through so much. And I'm not,
what, girl?
I don't want to lose our house. It may not be the prettiest boat in the world, and it may not have an $8 million price tag on it, but this boat is priceless to me. This is my home.
You should have seen me yesterday. I look like a blue Smurf.
I'm not sure.
It's covered from head to toe in blue. You'll get a cigarette and something. How about two officers got off of their boat, got on this boat, went all through the cabin.
They went inside. Because the door was open, they went inside. And...
That wasn't the only one, though.
Okay, okay, like, I'm sorry, little, no mask, no gloves, and you are dealing with a highly volatile chemical when it comes to non-abrasive, when it comes to ablative, bottom paint. It's biocidal, that's the word they use for it. It's biocidal paint. And this guy is just like this stuff, like on the can, it doesn't say this product may cause cancer. It says this product will cause cancer. So like this dude, like already this is a problem. Just like for his health, like you should be a little bit more on it, dude.
The other day they went on the Elizabeth out there, steel haul. They went on the vessel. You should have no right to go on that vessel. That is your private property. They use force to go inside your home, number one, and, you know, that's illegal. It shouldn't be right.
Okay. Adam Bound's frustration over
sadly,
the repeated searches of his houseboat.
There are... Now, I don't know about state officials, but the Coast Guard can pretty much board your vessel for any reason within the confines of the jurisdiction of the United States. Oh wow, thank you so much, Biotar, for the one gifted membership. But, the Coast Guard, there is no... You don't have Fourth Amendment protections when you live on a boat. Like, you just, the boat is, like Supreme Court has ruled on it a few times. But they basically said that, especially when it comes to the Coast Guard conducting a safety inspection or what have you, you need to yield to their demands. Now, again, this is federal level. This is involving the Coast Guard and stuff like that. I don't know about state level, but sadly, while maybe it should be illegal for them to just come in and search your vessel for whatever, for any reason, sadly it is. It is actually legal. I would have to bring up the specific cases, but yes, this is part of what got my autism started all the way back when I first moved on to moved out to a sailboat. Because I was figuring out some of these things, because you have some weird, like, you don't have rights that you would otherwise have if you had like an apartment or a house or anything like that. In many states you are considered homeless if you live on a boat. And therefore, there's just, it's a lot of weird, just specifications that they decide to make if you live on a boat.
Was such that he painted the Fourth Amendment on the outside of the cabin. On Facebook, he posted, "They boarded my boat when I was not there. They think they have the right to board my houseboat at any time they want, and I disagree. That is a violation of my Fourth Amendment. Illegal search and seizure."
That's why they broke the doorway on one of the sailboats. Nice sailboat, too.
So, how do you know that it was them that went on your boat, broke the doorway?
Because everybody out there saw them do it.
Okay, so you had a lot of witnesses that
saw
a
lot of
exactly.
people.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is all like these pictures and shit you watch.
They went and they broke the doorway, the slider, They were hanging out at it for a little while, then they left. After
Yeah,
they
they're
went
called
inside it and
slats to
everything,
the
which they
companionway
had-
hatch. So what it's talking about is on many boats, you don't have a door that will swing open. Some of them do, but most of them don't. You have what are known as slats, and they're kind of like storm shutters. You slide them in the companionway hatch, and then you slide the hatch closed, or you bring it closed, however it works. But that's usually how they're done. So what he's saying is basically these guys just kicked in the slats of this door to get into the sailboat.
had no reason to be there, no warrants of any sort, nothing. They just went in there because they felt like it. But that wasn't the first time. They went on this boat, a trawler over here. They boarded that too, and that's a documented vessel right there. As far as I know, that's what happened recently.
And that's in Boca Chica.
Okay, wait. So they said the lady I talked to, the dog, she said they went in your boat and they pulled up the bed sheets.
Pulled up the bed sheets and the bed stuff. Yeah. They damaged the rubber on that side. You can kind of see it. It's on the corner of it over there.
But they did actually look through your clothes and your bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a problem. Because when it comes to boats, like a proper sailboat or even a powerboat, like everything is underneath his bed sheets are space for storage. There's little like lockers and stuff like that for storage. Under everything, like space management is paramount when it comes to a boat. So what you end up having, there's the Fourth Amendment gets in the way because it's nothing that they can use in the Plainville Doctrine, and so now because it's on the water, it's for safety inspection or whatever, are there many reasons that they give for why they get to violate their Fourth Amendment rights. They give. The fact of the matter is, it shouldn't be legal, but for the most part, it is.
My engine was too small. My board is the one like the Mercury. With the shifter, you actually can go in forward and backward. You don't have to go in and click it. So I can have you're not trying to explain it to them like, hey, with an extension pole, I can drive them on both perfect. I can see 360, no problem at all. They don't care about that. Like,
well, okay, dude, no, okay. You are in a powerboat, and you are saying that you can move your boat with a big coal. If you don't have a motor or a way of propelling your vessel, then that is a derelict boat by definition. So this is the problem, right? Because his boat looks nice and stuff, but it doesn't run. It doesn't power. It doesn't have sails, which means it can't be powered. It can't be propelled by other means. He's freaking acting like he's in freaking Venice, and he's doing the freaking gondola or whatever it's called. And also, Don Diver, welcome to the chat. So I will say this, your boat can absolutely be classified as derelict if it can't sail, if it can't motor, if it can't propel itself under its own power. Then that's a problem. And you using a big stick to move your boat around does not count. That's absolutely asinine that you think that that's a adequate mode of propulsion for your vessel.
Start the diesel engine, the other side, say, oh, this engine not working here, and like
So they looked at the engine and said it doesn't work.
They don't even look at it. They don't even care. Was no.
Okay. So how many? So I saw you had 3 charges for abandoned vessel. Okay, so it was a liveaboard.
Right.
Okay, now tell me about them coming to your liveaboard.
They came. They were still.
They came in the
it
night.
has turned into all of this criminal mess, and then when I ask about what I have to do to bring this boat up to par, I need a bilge pump and automated switch and battery and solar panel to keep all of that charged, as well as needing an engine. And I'm being told that it needs to have helm control, that my tiller control is not adequate.
And he said, why is
that?
That's
okay.
And he expressed that it was the original design and that we need to bring them back to the original.
No, that's not okay. That's bullshit. When it comes to helm design or tiller design, it's personal preference. Some people like tiller design better. So Like him saying that, oh no, it needs to be brought back to helm design is insane. So for those wondering what the hell I'm talking about, you have two different forms of moving a boat. You have a tiller, which is usually a stick on the back of the boat that is connected directly to the rudder. This allows you to move the boat to the right, it'll go to the left. Move the tiller to the left, it'll go to the right. A helm is just a normal wheel, so just take a normal boat wheel. This cop is apparently, and again, the bilge pump, the automatic switch, the battery, and the solar panel to power it. I understand that. I understand all that. I understand the engine. I do not understand, no, you have to have this to be a helm. No, you don't get to decide that. This is a completely valid method of moving the vessel.
Configuration in terms of utility.
So he's telling you that by law, you have to make sure that your vessel is exactly as it was the day it was manufactured.
With regards to the engine and controls and navigation capabilities, that's what I've been told, yes. But I must add that I've also, in question of what they're telling me, I've called Tallahassee and spoke with an officer up there named Seth something, and he is the one, and that's why I stopped all the motion, because he told me that this helm control wasn't required.
No, it's not.
You know, but yet they're insisting that I need it down here. Beginning of this, did my houseboat, my liveaboard, even need an engine? And I have yet to get a satisfactory answer regarding that question.
Yes, your houseboat needs an engine.
Not
anybody.
Your houseboat needs an engine. It needs a method of propulsion.
They make these laws so vague that, you know, it's up to the interpretation of the officer, you know?
Which is not okay, because the
So
officer
the question
supposed
is,
to
what
enforce
is a
the rule,
derelict
but-
vessel?
Yeah, this is...
What equipment is
that's
required?
one.
If you look at the pictures of derelict vessels on government websites, a derelict vessel can easily be recognized from the outside as having no value to anyone. However, as we've learned, the law south of Miami is that even if your boat is the proverbial castle, if an FWC officer believes your boat cannot navigate, you will be arrested and your boat will be destroyed at your expense.
Which
At
is
least
insane.
this has been Captain Dupree's policy for many years.
How are you? I'm Dave DeCrank.
Hi, Amber. Nice
Nice.
meeting you. To keep in mind
Hey,
is
yo,
that
what?
these weren't just boats. I mean, they're people's homes here. And from what they told us, at least, was that upon arrival of the FWC, they weren't given much time to even gather their belongings and move out. I mean, I couldn't imagine having 10 minutes to get my stuff.
We've never kicked anybody off a boat. Not ever have we kicked anybody off a boat. Those people who left this boat weren't kicked off the boat. They told the investigator, I can't fix his boat. And we said, well, if you can't fix his boat and make it legal, we're gonna take the boat. All the things he needs to do, get the registration,
You know, taking the boat and destroying it is the same as kicking him off of it. And I guarantee you probably arrested him and removed him from the boat, aka kicked him off the boat. To say that his department has never kicked a person off a boat is just a bull-faced lie. Like, holy
get
shit.
the motors on there, do whatever he needs to do to bring it in compliance, and then bring the boat up to standard so that it actually is a boat, that it works like a boat.
Those so-called standards are what make liveaboards in the Keys cry foul. At a recent public meeting on Stuck Island, FWC's Tallahassee lawyers seemed to disagree with Captain Dupree's definition of derelict vessel.
Okay, so one, the supervisor. The supervisor has said to us, for years now, we've been confronting him with this. And he has said to us that, yes, a vessel that has no means of propulsion, period, is considered a derelict vessel. He agrees with his officers doing this.
The officers should not be charging people with a criminal violation simply because their boats do not have means of propulsion. Yet your officers are doing it over and over and over again. I'm not hearing from you that you're telling them not to do so. In fact, I'm hearing from all of you for years that that's exactly what
That's incorrect. You haven't heard that from me. You would never hear that from me. And so now that I'm hearing it, I can tell you that I'll go back and talk to the major over the boating and waterways section, who would have the responsibility of informing every one of our majors in the entire state of Florida that if they're doing that, that's incorrect.
If it talks like a
it's
boat,
very
walks like a boat, it might be a duck.
clear, and I will tell you.
Okay, we're good. I think we're good on this now. I see what's happening. It's been happening for years. Pretty decent video, and I think, for those who are wondering, of who that was in the bottom corner of the video, I'm pretty sure that was, How I'm on the Range News, like the anchor guy, the guidance there. Pretty decent video, good to bring up, what's it called? Awareness of this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to it if you like this kind of, coverage, of its stuff. But yeah, so to prevent a suicide, they shoot him. Makes total sense. That was the first comment on that video. I kind of agree. But, okay, then here we go. We have a couple more videos here to get through. We are planning on ending at 2 o'clock. That we're around 2 o'clock, so, we do know that. So, our next video here. Actually, yeah. Our next video here is going to be, does California enforce its laws? Help me find out. This is, somebody who is, my manager really likes. Raging Bull, that is. His name's Louis Rossman, and he's kind of an advocate for right to repair and digital rights ownership and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's, have him go in and see what's going on and,
hey, everybody, how's it going?
What's his beef with California. Whoa, hey, calm down. Oh.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely
There we
day.
go.
Yesterday I did a video on a letter that Senator Ron Wyden sent to the chair of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, asking for
Okay, here we
guidance
go.
on digital ownership and digital goods and what it's like to purchase and buy and what it means to purchase and buy something in the modern day. When you buy something back in the day, it used to be you bought it, you own it, that's it. Now you buy a textbook, you click lifetime, they have the right to revoke your access in a few years if they want, and if they do, you don't get a refund. Even people in their 70s are waking up to the fact that you don't own what you bought and paid for, and people are trying to push back against it. California passed a law going over this that, in my opinion, is a great step in the right direction. However, I don't see this law being enforced. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to read you the law, I'm going to show you a clear-cut case of an offender, and I'm going to ask that if you live in the state of California, that you report the offender at the website that I'm going to show you. My goal with this is to figure out whether or not this law has teeth and whether or not it is valid. This law may have loopholes in it, or this law may not have loopholes in it, but it's simply not enforced because the Attorney General and Consumer Protection agencies are choosing to not actually doing anything about it. So let's read this law over here, and you tell me what you think. This law says consumer protection, false advertising.
Let's see. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I'm aware of this law. Okay, but this is actually pretty good. We're gonna let him go through it. But yeah, I see what he's, this little exercise, this social experiment, if you will, that he's going through. I like. But here, I'm gonna let him take it over. And let's listen to
digital goods. This would prohibit a seller of a digital good from advertising or offering for sale a digital good as defined to a purchaser with the terms buy, purchase, or any other term which a reasonable person would understand to confer an unrestricted ownership interest in the digital good, or alongside an option for a time-limited rental, unless the seller receives at the time of each transaction an affirmative acknowledgement from the purchaser, or the seller provides to the consumer before executing a transaction a clear and conspicuous statement as specified, by expanding the scope of a crime, which is a great word to use for redefining what the word purchase or buy means and taking back what people bought and paid for. It shall be unlawful for a seller of a digital good to advertise or offer for sale a digital good to a purchaser with the terms buy, purchase, or any other term which a reasonable person would understand to confer an unrestricted ownership interest in the digital good, or alongside an option for a time-limited rental, unless either of the following occur: that the seller receives at the time of each transaction an affirmative acknowledgement from the purchaser indicating the following: the purchaser is receiving a license to access the digital good, a complete list of restrictions and conditions of the license, that access to the digital good may be unilaterally revoked by the seller if they no longer hold a right to the digital good. The seller provides to the consumer before executing each transaction a clear and conspicuous statement that does both the following.
And here's the problem, because he's written all the acceptance to what was a good law up until this point. Because now, okay, well, as long as they make sure that you know that it's a digital good, or make sure that you know that it's a license, and make sure that okay, well, now you have all these reasons on how they can wiggle out and make things more difficult for the and FTC to actually fucking charge and pursue and enforce. So
Following states in plain language that buying or purchasing the digital good is a license and includes a hyperlink, QR code, or similar method to access the terms and conditions that provide full details on the license. Now, I would like to go over an example that I feel is the best for this case. We're going to go over an example from a large company. We're going to go over an example from a large company that virtually every single person that's ever gone to college hates because they abuse people, and it is a clear-cut case of cutting against the spirit of the law. If you go over here to VitalCheck's website, you can go to buy a calculus textbook. Now, with my calculus textbook from back in 2007, that was a physical book. I can pass that on to my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren so they could all have a souvenir of me failing pre-calculus 3 fucking times at LaGuardia Community College. But when you take a look at this is a digital textbook, which means that it is going to expire at a certain point in time. Here, you can spend $64.99 for a 180-day license, a one-year license for $89.49, or a lifetime license for $109.99. Now, what do you think lifetime means? In usual cases, lifetime means until you die. In this case, lifetime means half the lifetime of a fucking cicada. If you take a look down here, the only way that you'd ever figure out that this book is a book that you would be revoked access to, even if you paid for a lifetime license, to figure this out, it says nothing over here, nothing in the description, nothing until you scroll down over here to where it says this is a digital license. And then you have to click details. Now, if I'm a normal person and I'm reading this, this is kind of like being on the page for a Ford Mustang or a Ford F-150, and then it says this is a truck. Details.
Well, even saying that this is a license, and a lifetime license is still a license. So it comes with terms and conditions, sure, but even beyond just the layman like me, I would look at that and go, well, of course it's a license because you're offering access to this product online on your server, and I'm purchasing a lifetime license. So again, even to someone beyond just a reasonable person, that pretty much seems reductive. Now they are reductive. Now let's see what it says about the details though, because I imagine the problem is going to be when it talks about lifetime licensing in the details of the actual license itself. So let's see. I said let's see.
Hyperlink. I'm going to think to myself, this is an F-150. There's a picture of a truck. If you write this is a truck, details, no shit. Obviously, it's a fucking truck. I'm not going to click on details to read that because I have no reason to, because you're telling me something blatantly obvious and then putting a little URL that says details. Here, you're saying this is a digital license. Now, this is a digital good. It is a book. So you're saying this is a digital something. Obviously, it is. I'm not going to click on this little thing that says details. However, when you click on that thing that says details, here's what you get. You are licensing a digital product for a set duration. Set duration. And over here, it says products labeled as lifetime typically mean 5 years of online access and permanent downloads to a supported device. And then it says that what is this? When you scroll down, support for download of files is tied to compatibility with VitalSource supported devices and platforms at the time of download. And if your device is not supported anymore, then that's the end of the lifetime that you have over there. This is the problem with goods that connect to the internet in order to work. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't even just say 5 years. It doesn't say that five. It says typically 5 years, which means that they have the right to revoke this in 3 years, or 1 year, or 1 day, or an hour, because it says typically.
Speaking,
Not only do you have to click on a link that is bad. It says it's details, has nothing to do with it. Not only does the product page make no mention whatsoever that lifetime means literally whatever the fuck this company wants, but they're not even going to give you a definite time frame, even when you go through the terms of service. This literally means they can revoke your access whenever the fuck they want. This is a very easy problem to solve. So I buy something, you give me a PDF with no DRM, period. That's it. There's no need for there to be an application that you have to support and constantly make new versions for. So everybody's going to go out there and say this bullshit, where the reason they have to do that is every time a new version of Android comes out, there's new libraries and new dependencies and everything else. We have to update that. No, you don't. Give me a fucking PDF. But you don't do that. This is one of the most clear-cut cases of this, and virtually anybody who has ever been to college has had this experience, even before there were any sort of digital goods. I remember this bullshit where there'd be a textbook. I'd buy a used version of the textbook from last year, and I'd fail my homework, because when I would do the homework and I'd fill everything out, there was the same questions but they would be put out of order. And then the multiple choice answers would be out of order. So even though they're the same fucking questions, I am going to fail if I do that homework unless I get a new copy of the textbook so I know what order to do my questions in. Calculus has not changed in 50 fucking years. There's absolutely no reason that you should be getting ripped off over and over and over and over and over again for it, except for the fact that they want to make more money. And if they want to do that, that's fine. If you're going to be the bitch, be the whole bitch, and write it on your page as the law says. If you were following the spirit of this law, on this page over here, next to lifetime, it would say, lifetime actually means the lifetime that we want our product to live prior to killing it. This is not following the spirit of the law, nor is it following the letter of the law. And if you live in the state of California, I'd like to ask you to do this. The first thing you can do is you can go to the Rob Bonta Attorney General's website, Consumer Complaint Against a Business or Company. You fill out this form and you explain exactly what's going on. You show the screenshot showing lifetime marketing language. You show evidence of this 5-year limitation that doesn't even have to be 5 years, that could be whatever they want. And you can reference AB 2426, which is effective as of January 1st, 2025. And if you actually bought something from this website, you can reference that as well. You can also reach out over here for the California Department of Consumer Affairs. If you reach out to both the California Department of Consumer Affairs and you reach out to the California Attorney General, and within 30 calendar days from me making this video, this website is still lying to all of its customers and claiming that you're spending $110 on a lifetime license that they can actually revoke at any given time, we will know that this law is completely and utterly useless. But I'd like to figure it out. I made this post on consumerrights.wiki a few months back. It has been sitting here for a while, and I'd like to actually try and take some of the things on this website and start doing something about them. And if you're tired of the lack of ownership in modern day society, please do help me out with this website. I am putting an honest, professional effort into everything that I'm doing here. We have a team of people. Keith is heading everything up. We have somebody developing and working on a browser plugin. We're going to put a little bit more full-time effort into that. We've got a PR person. We are trying our best to make it obvious to everybody that there is a decline in ownership that needs to end. We want to make it very easy for the mainstream media to cover these things. So rather than them having to do all the research on their own, we're going to do the research for you. We're going to have all the sources that are clearly cited. We're going to have nice little pictures of everything so that you can follow it. So that if this wants to get reported on by a major media institution or a major news outlet, everything is right here, bundled up with a little bow for them to be able to do their job and report it to the American public.
Which is good, but okay. I'm sorry, Lewis. I'm going to have to call you out a little bit here. If you're going to do this kind of research and you want to bring attention to it, it's already your obligation to include all the sources cited, all the screenshots, all that stuff. I understand you're probably a little upset at media, but you're like putting it on media like, oh yeah, if anyone wants to do this, we make their job really easy. So if they want to do their job, like, okay, dude, Simmer, you should already be doing this. This is already the journalistic standard for investigators, for lawyers, for anything. Cite your sources, do the screenshots and stuff to make it easier for the media. He was combining two things that was just a little weird for me to combine. Like, he would throw in shade at media and like, here, I'll do it just this special, I'll go the extra. This is not the extra mile. This is the standard. If you want to be taken seriously as an investigative journalist, as somebody who is bringing attention to these issues, then you should already be providing the sources, providing the links to that, providing the screenshots and all that stuff. So, like, yeah, that's my thing. But anyway, next one we have here, this one, oh man, I'm not sure. Actually, here, you know what? We're going to do this one, right? We're doing a little bit out of order here. But I'm doing this because we have a new Fast Facts release of a few hours ago regarding Johnny Somali. So, everybody, this is titled, by the way, it's by Legal Eagle. Legal Eagle. Don't tell him I fucked that up. It's Legal Mindset. It's Sandra Esquire with Legal Mindset. Don't tell him. Don't tell him, oh god, I'm done. I'm done. Chad, I'm cooked. I'm fucking cooked. Oh god. I got, oh Jesus. Oh my god. So, here's some fast facts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't tell him. Don't do. It was his flip. I throw it. Oh, no, please. Guys, listen. Listen. I'm sorry. Don't tell him. Oh God, like I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. That's all I can say. Oh God, just play the fucking video.
It has gotten much worse for Ramzi Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali. I'm here today, Legal Mindset, American attorney over here in Asia, and this is, of course, the channel where we teach you to be your own judge. It has gotten so much worse for Johnny Somali today, and we have some post-trial updates that I wanted to give you some fresh information, up-to-date information on the case, the latest, the greatest, all of the information here as this thing develops, because this case of Ramzi Khalid Ismail, Johnny Somali, it changes day to day, minute to minute. There's always more information on this, updates, commentary from people inside of
Fair. Okay, that is fair. To everyone here, like an eagle might be here. I'm not sure. He sometimes is, but the only eagle I trust in terms of the legal sphere is the one who clips things, not the one who has Trump derangement syndrome.
Korea, from lawyers, people with experience.
I'm so sorry. It's okay. You didn't tell me about liking pineapple on pizza, so I'll keep this secret. I think the secret's out. Thank you, JP Ravenfire, but I think I'm cooked.
Legal system that I want to bring to you fresh and accurate, so you have the best information on this, which is the wildest case I have ever covered. As one of the Fast Facts series, of course, this is the abbreviated version. If you want to catch the full version, that will be my live on my channel. That will have all the video, all the extra stuff, all the memes, all the fun stuff, all the comments on my channel. But of course, let's get into the post-trial update. This is yet another update following the March 16th trial, March 16, 2025 trial of Johnny Somali. Now, of course, in this case, in this hearing, we had him pleading guilty to additional charges and also pleading not guilty to additional charges. Now, one big change I'm making going forward is I am renaming obstruction of business to interference with business, because that is more accurate, and it also avoids confusion, because many who are familiar with the American legal system, you know the term obstruction of justice. It is nothing related to that. It's actually interference with business interference. That we're talking about with the charge with Johnny Somali. So I relabeled this on this chart and kind of updated this with the latest and greatest information. So the first three counts, we already had information from the first hearing, the hearing that I was at months ago. That is the interference with business for throwing ramen, for disrupting the 7-Eleven. Now, the funny thing is that Johnny Somali continues to say that is all he is charged with. However, that is absolutely, of course, like everything Ramzi says, a lie. He is charged with now 7 separate criminal counts, including a brand new charge, a charge that even I did not know about until today, which is an absolute bombshell, which may change the entire case and really end Johnny Somali, as well as it may end his ally, Hank Han Jong-yu, as well. We're going to talk about that today and also in the future. So he pled guilty for that last time, as well as for the Minor Crimes Act 1 and 2 of harassing people with a rotting fish and disturbing the bus and metro. But we found out today about the next interference business count, which was actually loud music on the bus.
So there was another? That's impressive that there was an actual charge that got under Andrew's nose. So he didn't even know about it.
And this is a little additional note, which I got from my translators, and I did not mention on my previous streams or updates. It was actually from monkey noises. Yes, you heard that correctly. Monkey noises. He was making monkey noises while playing loud music, and that was a fact that the prosecutor brought up. Yes, that's very much true. Now, like I've said, making a bus late in Korea is very much per se automatic interference because you're messing up the entire system. By delaying the bus driver, by keeping him from doing his job, it messes up every single bus and makes everybody late, makes everybody tardy. And Korea is very much a society that is punctual and on time. He did plead guilty to that, decisively guilty to that. Then he had deep fake counts 1 and 2. The first count is for a male streamer kissing. There's at least 2 people, possibly more, that are involved in that. One of which I am pretty certain is Dalgoon, who is the UDT Special Forces, aka the Korean Navy SEAL, who punched him. He is very likely one of those people. There are others as well that are involved in that. He did plead not guilty to that. Also, there's the count for Bong Bong, the female streamer. He also pled not guilty to that. And then there's an interference count 3. Now, this is the new one. This is the bombshell, the one we've all been waiting for. Lotte World. And this one may end him. Because remember, Lotte World has a massive amount of resources, and they have a huge interest in pursuing any criminal complaint they go forward with. And they have decided to go forward with this one. Now, to talk about this one, we got to go to the next page, a legal mishap. So this is a new one. It was actually procedurally, it was included along with deepfake count number 2. So when those were brought over from the Eastern District, they packaged them together. So in the record, it was not clear there was an obstruction charge. So going into today, we thought there were 6 charges. There's actually 7. This adds 5 years to the potential maximum. So you can now safely report that he faces up to 36 years behind bars, 36 years of prison time, which is a pretty large amount. Now, typically Korean courts don't give the maximum, but once again, it's moving us further and further up the line for potential time for Ramsey Ismail. Now, Ramsey today claimed he pled not guilty. He said, hey, I pled not guilty. I pled not guilty to all the new stuff. That is not correct, according to the record that we have so far in the media. And by record, I mean the record from the translators on the Somali conviction team. That's my team that was in the courtroom and reporting on this. I've now reviewed at the end of the day. It took me several hours to review everybody.
I love that Andrew has a Somali conviction team on the ground, freaking making sure that anything said in the court is properly represented, because we all know that Johnny Somali is gonna lie out his fucking ass when it comes to his recollection of the facts. So that's really cool that we have actual no, this is not what was said. This is what's said. Nice try, Johnny, but we have the ability to impeach any statement you make.
Notes. Everybody had him really as guilty. Now, his lawyer does have an accent. It was kind of hard to understand him, and the way he phrased it was weird. But the media and everybody is reporting it as guilty, that he pled guilty. So we're going to see at that next trial if he tries to back off of that and say he's not guilty. We will see about that one.
Now, here's a question to me. Is there any, and I don't know this because of Korea, right? I'm not a Korean lawyer. I don't know Korean law, but is there any way for him to withdraw or to back out of his previous pleas, even the first 3 that he had pled to, or no? Just let me know in the chat, and I'll read you guys and I'll hear. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that he really has much option to withdraw those previously stated guilty pleas. Yeah, I didn't think so.
But the thing about this charge is there is really no defense for it. Why is there no defense? Well, there's no defense because a ride was shut down. We have the video, I've shown it on this channel, of a ride being shut down. If a ride is shut down, you have interfered with a business. It's clear cut. It's open and closed. We have it on video. There's no debating that. There's no opting that. Because of his actions, but for his actions, that's causality in the legal term, that ride would not be shut down. So there's pretty much no defense. So even if he does plead not guilty, it'll kind of just be an annoyance, really, because, he's clearly guilty of this. There's really no way around it. Now, there is something about the legal strategy, and this kind of segues in because, perhaps it was a misspeak on part of the lawyer, perhaps with some confusion. And there is a new private attorney that took over Ramsey's case a week ago. There's no more public defender. Now, there's nothing to indicate any sort of inexperience on the part of this lawyer. In fact, he's kind of handled this in a normal way. He filed a defense motion 2 days ago. Now, at that point, he had not seen the full trial record. Now, that's not to say that's abnormal. I had some time speaking today with somebody who has experience in the Korean system, a lawyer who has experience in the Korean system, and they let me know it's very normal, in fact, to file just a defense motion right away when you come on a case. And that motion might say, hey, we just got on this case and I really don't know what's going on. And that's actually pretty normal in terms of a motion. They can always file supplementary motions, additional motions in the future. And I think we're very likely to see future defense filings before the next trial in August. So nothing really super abnormal about that. And once again, this is all based on speculation, based on really hearsay that I'm hearing from people in the courtroom about this defense motion. We don't know what's in it yet. Of course, I'm just a simple country lawyer, a simple Florida lawyer, observing a foreign system from Thailand, right? So I'm observing Korea from Thailand. I'm not a Korean lawyer. I'm not in the Korean system, but it just seems very interesting about that motion. So we're going to see where that's going, and we're going to see if there's any additional filings. Nothing horribly abnormal, but it's just very interesting to see if perhaps in a future filing, they do try to go back and they do try to change that look, that world charge, and do try to fight that. I don't think there's a good defense for that. I think it's an open and shut case, but we're going to see about that. We also had some impressions of the judge. This is new information that I got from the Somali conviction team, and they let me know what they thought about the judge. And apparently, based on observations by them, of course, that's Dr. Ulrich and others. You guys have seen Dr. Ulrich on my interviews, and several others in the Somali conviction team. So this is, of course, their speculation based on their observations. So, you know, you can look at somebody and think one thing, it could be others. So I'm just relaying what they are speculating. But according to them, who were in the courtroom today, the judge seemed in disbelief over the not guilty plea. So he did not seem happy over that. He seemed like he should, that Johnny, he was expecting Johnny just to plead guilty. So seemed a little bit annoyed by that. And it seems like the case before was a very sympathetic case with a disabled defendant, and the judge had a lot of sympathy in that case. So maybe juxtaposed, balanced against Johnny's claims where, you know, Johnny is clearly on video and there's clear evidence he did most things. The judge was not having a good day, perhaps, and in light of what was going on, might have been kind of annoyed. He also seemed annoyed over the unsigned paperwork. The filing that was made by the lawyer was unsigned. He seemed annoyed over that. Now, that's a minor procedural mistake. It's not going to mess anything up in the case. He just seemed like he was pretty annoyed today. And the observation that the folks in the courtroom said was the judge might be inclined to just do what the prosecutors say. I mean, if he's annoyed, if he's bothered, he might just give whatever sentence the prosecutor lays down without, you know, lessening it or making it worse, or sorry, lessening it or making it less time in prison or less punishment for Johnny, which is bad for Johnny. So essentially, if the judge...
Yeah, for those who don't know, like here's the thing, like the judge absolutely could get annoyed with this case to the point where he just rubber stamps it. He literally just goes, I'm going with the prosecution, boom, here you go, here's the suggested punishment and everything they came up with, and then and that's what, again, that's not good for Johnny because he's looking at, what, 31 years or something like that? Total, if like the max was applied to everything, right? But like, yeah, this is, you don't, rule number one of any courtroom, and I don't care, like, what country you're in, don't piss off or agitate the judge. Don't do it, because you're gonna have a bad time, and you'll have only yourself to blame for disrespecting the judge's time with your nonsense.
Judge just takes the prosecutor's recommendation. At this point, it's not looking good. Now, what happened with the media? This is very interesting. So on today, this is a excerpt, a direct quote from the Korean media that was there today. Somali entered the courtroom wearing a MAGA hat and made a tongue-in-cheek pose with his tongue sticking out. He took off his hat in court as required, but put it back on after the trial was over. So the MAGA hat was just for show.
So he did it again.
He took it off and put it back on. He didn't make a show. He didn't fight. He didn't do any of that bravado stuff. And here's the biggest part. So last time he raised the middle finger and cursed out a female Korean reporter outside the courtroom. However, this time, compared to last time where he was full of machismo, he was cocky, he was confident, he looked broken. he looked confused, and he remained completely silent when he was asked the exact same question as last time. Last time he said, do you think Korea is a vassal state of the United States? He was asked that question last time. Last time he answered, I love North Korea, hail the CCP, all that good stuff. I love Kim Jong-un, I love CCP, I love North Korea. He answered that when he said, do you think they're a vassal state? This time he didn't answer anything. He remained silent. He also remained silent as, how are you paying for your lawyer's fees? So once again, the Korean media is very interested in the fact that Johnny is broke and is interested in that hanky poo, Han Jung-yu, is really funding him. He's really the sugar daddy.
Here's the thing, and I've been hearing, and maybe chat might know a little bit about this, maybe others, but like I kept hearing, and I think Mist made a video on it, but like I've been hearing a lot about Johnny Somali bragging about how, oh, well, the courts don't check my bank accounts because they're in different countries, but also they don't check crypto wallets. And there's been a lot of like murmurings that Johnny has recently started making money doing crypto shit. I don't know if that's true or not. I just remember hearing about it in a Mist video. I was watching the other day. So let me know, chat, if you guys know if there's any polls in that regard. But I think he's trying to obtain revenue streams that the Korean government can't recognize. But obviously, that doesn't work if he says it on his stream that they don't check these accounts. Well, now they can because you fucking said they don't. And now all they have to do is just follow up with what you told them to. You told them where not to look, or told them they don't look there, and so now they're gonna look there. Like, that's your stupidity.
Of Ramzi Khalid Ismail, and they wanted to ask about that there. So these are things that were very important in the Korean media. We're going to see how they cover this in the days to come.
Well,
this is just some preliminary coverage I wanted to bring to you guys. Also, this is a big one. Hank raged outside the courtroom and cursed out bystanders and insulted their mothers. Ramzi warned Hank to stop crashing out. Ramzi and Hank accidentally also walked into the basement. Now, here's the big thing I wanted to open up and talk about, is that Hank may have opened himself up to criminal action, criminal liability, by cursing out people,
That's, and I could be wrong, but he's going to mention it here, I imagine, but I'm pretty sure that you can be sued for insult in Korea.
Making fun of them, cursing them out, and I'm not going to play the footage because I want to keep this safe for YouTube. YouTube has been very angry about some of the Hank and Johnny language, so I want to keep this PG-13. If you want to see the full footage, you can look at my my live, in which I will play the video. But to paraphrase it, he uses the F word, he curses people out and says F your mother, this and that, and is cursing out people outside the courtroom. In Korea, insult is indeed a criminal act, and because this was outside of the courtroom, that could be contempt of court. So anybody who was there in court, whether that's a journalist or a bystander or a foreigner, it doesn't.
It's not a civil tort. It's a criminal. Okay, I was pretty sure that you could be hit with insult in Korea, but I thought it was a civil thing. I didn't think that, well, I just think that it can be criminal.
Doesn't matter.
Goddamn.
Anyone who was there can go to the police station, go to the Songpai police station in Mapo, and you can turn in a police report against Ramzi, which I think could be taken very seriously. Excuse me, not against Ramzi, against Hank. Now, Hank has previously been very careful about keeping himself out of criminal trouble, but he may have opened himself up here, and this would be a big change.
Yeah, I got some rare instance of here we go. I have a video of what's his face. Hold on, let me get this right. Where's the VR Demi recording? Where is this one? Okay, never mind. I don't have it because I don't have it set up.
Change in the case to get Hank added on with some criminal action for insult, which once again in Korea is a criminal act. So that may be some good news in prosecuting Hank if someone decides to come forward and do a police report on that. Also, I want to put out here that the next trial date, there's some updates on this information in the Western Courthouse, Seoul, South Korea, room 406, August 13th, 4 p.m. Now, we had some updates. So we previously thought there were going to be 4 witnesses, and there may be 4 witnesses, but we're not sure. So if there's only one witness, we could see his trial at 4 p.m. go for about 90 minutes. Now, if
Okay,
there's
so
many
August
witnesses,
13th is the
3,
next
4,
date.
5, whatever, it's going to go to 4 or 5 hours. So I'd previously said 4 to 5 hours. We may have as short as 90, as long as 4 to 5. They'll be direct, they'll be cross. And the difference is, will it just be Bong Bong? We are almost 100% certain that Bong Bong will be testifying at the next court case. But if it's just Bong Bong,
That
probably
makes
90
sense,
minutes.
yeah.
Probably a short day. However, if the other deepfake victims show up, Dalgoon, the other Korean streamers, it's something that could go on for 4 to 5 hours. So it's something that could go on pretty long. The other thing, which is very interesting, which I want to bring up and which came up afterwards, was some of Johnny's shenanigans. In case you guys haven't had a chance to check this out, of course, I did a separate video on this, and you can check this out at your leisure. But of course, Johnny was doing some cosplay afterwards. Now, he had said he was going to do this on his court date, that he was going to come dressed like this, but he decided to wear this black hood. It has come out that he is clearly trying to look like Kanye West in his kind of get up here. He was, you can see him here with Hank, who's acting as his Instagram boyfriend, recording him and making some video there. He's now, I cannot play Johnny's video. Johnny did put out his video on this because it contains extreme racism. It contains hateful remarks towards various races. But this was his court gimmick, which absolutely 100% failed because he was trying to pretend that this is something he was going to do at court. But indeed, he did not do this at court. This did not happen at all. And this is something that just looked embarrassing because it's really two men alone on a roof doing cosplay, which is absolutely ridiculous. We will have more updates for you as we go. The biggest one of which is how the Lotte World charges may result in action even in the United States, which could end Ramsey forever. We'll get to that on a future stream. Make sure to like this video, and I'll catch.
Are you guys enjoying the stream?
And I got hey, now, oh my God. Oh my God, yes, it's so freaking good. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. We'll be right back, kids. Chat. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Okay, let's see here. We have, even though this man proved his innocence, the cops still brutalized him. Or should AI replace juries in court? We have 20 minutes left. Oh, man. Oh, man. You know what? What we're going to do... Yeah, we're going to do it this way. We're going to save... kind of consensuals, should AI replace juries in court. Because that's gonna... I feel like I'm gonna go on a rant there, and that rant could last anywhere between... 15 and 20 minutes by itself. So, we're instead going to say, we're going to watch, even though this man proved his innocence, the cops still actually brutalized him. Which sounds...
We'll get to the bottom
insane,
of it.
But we're going to go ahead and... Oh, let's see what's going on. Here we go, final video of the day.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
I don't care. What are you gonna do? Charge me with what?
Well, if you stole something, you're gonna
I
get charged
didn't
with that.
steal, bro.
Chill.
I got hella money, bro.
Perfect.
What is wrong with you?
Awesome.
What else you want, bro? I didn't steal nothing.
Bro, you got problems.
Just because you're uncooperative, you're going to be in handcuffs, okay?
I haven't been uncooperative at all.
That's not what I've seen.
Okay.
You know, there are countless hundreds, if not thousands, of examples of police brutality all over the internet, and I really just have to wonder to myself, are cops doing this intentionally for some twisted reason, as if they're trying to drum up hatred against themselves, and if so, why? As ridiculous as that question sounds, it's something I've been asking myself ever since I saw this particular example of police brutality taking place in Marysville, Washington on November 20th, 2024, with the victim being Jalen, as we're going to call him, and the main perpetrators from this police department being Officer Hamburg, who initiates this unlawful detainment, Officer Thompson, who initiates the police brutality, and so-called Sergeant Carlisle, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm just going to call him Officer D, as in...
These nuts. Got him!
I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it so much.
Now this all started off with Officer Hamburg at this local store. Why he was there really isn't the point. The point is that he witnesses Jalen walk out with the beepers going off. You know, the sensors that indicate if somebody's stealing something.
Yeah.
And although this does give Officer Hamburg reasonable articulable suspicion that this man shoplifted, that RAS quickly gets destroyed by what Jalen proceeds to do on camera. I want you to pay close attention to that because it proves that this man is innocent, even though guilty until proven innocent in America is completely backwards.
Free to leave? You just beeped coming off. My camera's on. So what'd you just steal from the store?
I didn't steal nothing.
Well, how come you were beeping?
I don't
You're not free to go.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not free to go.
Running in dead sprint down the side.
83 Sam.
I don't fucking know.
Send me another unit, Coastal.
I didn't steal nothing, bro.
You ain't leaving. You're not free to go.
I didn't do nothing.
You're beeping.
Oh, okay, this is interesting.
So who's your buddy that's with you then?
None of your business.
Well, it is my business because you're here complicit with him.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't.
I'm watching. You're not free to go.
He did
No,
they
bro,
didn't
I did not do nothing wrong.
Have a sit.
I did not do anything wrong.
Have a sit down.
I'm not sitting down, bro. I did not do anything
I'm
wrong.
at Coastal with an uncooperative individual just beep going out the store.
Oh, Jesus
I did
Christ.
not beep.
Yeah, this is a maniac. This is bad.
No, I did not.
This is
I'm not sitting. I'm not. Am I
fucking
detained for
God.
what?
You are detained.
For what?
For suspicion of shoplifting, so you can sit
How?
now. You just beeped going out the store.
I did not beep. You just walked. You just see me go back in there. I did not beep.
Yeah,
We'll get to
and
the
he
bottom of
went.
it.
Yeah, he went right through.
You're not free to go. Sit down.
Bro, leave me alone.
Sit down. You're not.
Leave me alone. I did not do anything wrong for the
You
fifth
are not
time.
free to go.
I did not do anything wrong.
Don't step up on me. You are not free to go. We'll get to the bottom of it.
I don't care. What are you gonna do? Charge me with what?
Well, if you stole something, you're gonna
I
get charged
didn't
with theft.
steal, bro. There's nothing in my pockets,
Chill,
bro.
chill.
I got hella money, bro.
Perfect.
What is wrong with you?
Awesome.
What else you want, bro? I didn't steal nothing.
Bro, you got problems.
No, you're a weird ass cop.
Down.
Look.
Whoa.
Nothing. What
Whoa.
do you want?
Well, I'm gonna need to know who your buddy is that
I'm
you're
not
in here
telling
with.
you. You can go find him. You should have chased his ass instead of me, you
Okay,
dumbass.
Okay, look, I'm not saying the cop is in the right performing this investigation or performing this stop, but, like, this guy could be a little bit less aggro. Like, for real though, like, the sporadic movements, like randomly taking off all your clothes, I get it, you're showing that you didn't take anything, but, like, you're so animated and elevated in terms of your emotions. The argument could very easily be made that, well, we didn't know what he was going to do. He was being flat unreasonable. And boom, your arrest is justified now, even though you didn't steal anything. So again, I get the rage at being mistakenly accused at doing something, but you gotta keep that in check, otherwise it's just gonna cause problems for you.
Sounds good. You can get arrested for
Okay, arrest
complicity
me.
for a theft third.
Oh, whatever.
If that's what needs to happen.
I don't care. I didn't do nothing. I didn't steal. He didn't even steal anything.
Well, he did steal something.
Okay, that's on him then.
So within these couple of snippets, we have clean-cut evidence that this man had no reason to be detained. Let's start with the fact that he walked back into that store and those sensors did not go off again. This would indicate two possibilities, both of which would still lead to this man being innocent beyond a shadow of a doubt. Either A, he happened to walk out with somebody else who was...
Like Hawkeye. Hawkeye, you see, it doesn't look good if he really is innocent when he's acting like that. Let's be real. There are people with anger issues who would fucking come to blows over being accused that you just stole something. A cop is accusing this man of breaking the law. This cop can ruin this guy's life, okay? That's a very alarming thing to have to go through. You're gonna be emotional. I'm saying it is important for him to keep that in check, but also presumed innocence remains intact even if he's being unreasonable because he was just accused of theft.
Shoplifting, and Officer Hamburg mistook Jalen for being the shoplifter, or B, it would indicate that those sensors are malfunctioning, which would prevent this cop from having any RAS of this man stealing in the first place. Not only that, but this man almost entirely undressed himself in front of this officer and on body cam to prove that he had stolen nothing. And mind you, this was after he walked back into that store to prove that those sensors would not go off. So he really did not even have to do this. But even so, because he was deemed uncooperative, several cops show up and swarm him like a pack of wolves on a sheep.
So I don't know. If you guys don't touch me, please. Yes. Stop. I did not do anything wrong.
I'm going to go watch the video.
I'm listening. Go watch the video. I didn't beat, sir.
You're on body cam.
I don't care.
I'm going to go get video if you guys will chill with him. He won't identify himself, but his buddy, he threw everything on his butt to search him.
Search him.
However, he's being very uncooperative.
I'm not being uncooperative. Don't detain me, bro.
And when they unlawfully cuffed this man, Officer Thompson proceeds to frame him for resisting, prompting the cops to do this.
Take this.
Hey man, don't be touching my
Just because you're uncooperative, you're going to be in handcuffs, okay?
I haven't been uncooperative at all.
That's not what I've seen.
Whoa, hey, yo, what the fuck?
This guy has been all in the face the whole time.
What are you guys doing, bro? Hey!
Stop.
Stop!
Yeah, not sure why you did that.
I'm not even doing anything. Please help. Ah! What are you guys doing, bro? What are you guys doing? Stop! Bro, you guys are hurting me for no reason.
Right. It's all on body cam. You remember that? Sir, you need medical aid?
Exactly.
Yes.
What hurts?
My whole body, bro. They just slapped
By the way, I noticed too, and it's mentioned it a couple times at this point, but like the guy when he's talking about it, he keeps mentioning that the suspect here called him F-U N-word. He kept saying that. I'm like, okay, so really what this is you misunderstood thing. You probably would have let it go, but he called you a name, and now you can't let it go because your pride's in the way. But yes, I will say Francis Karma is correct when he says this kind of shows how if a cop does screw up, you shouldn't get belligerent. Don't get belligerent because it'll give them the opportunity to pull shit like this. Nothing happened. What happened is they said he was being uncooperative. Slap cuffs on him, and then this guy right here, from what I saw, leaned forward and acted like he was gonna resist, and so they just slammed him on the ground. Like it looked like a classic, like oh yeah, he was gonna be uncooperative and resisting, so we shut it down before it even happened.
The ground.
Yeah, this feels like a power trip.
Okay. I got it. Gotcha. You're good.
You know, I already talked about the reasons why the cops had no RAS and no probable cause to even detain this man, because he proved that he was innocent. But one thing I really want to harp on for a moment is the fact that they were making fun of him and other people for recording their shameful antics. At one point, they even laughed at this man and mocked him for making them go viral.
Going viral!
Wow, dude! You asshole! You're violating
I don't know, people, do you really think it's funny to see an innocent man get beaten up and brutalized for no reason? Because if you do, you need to be put in a mental hospital. Just like almost every single cop on scene.
Yeah, no, for real.
Speaking of terrible cops, we now get to see Officer D on scene, who, knowing that this man was innocent beyond a shadow of a doubt, proceeded to violate this man's rights by soliciting a trespass against him, so that he may never step foot in this store again, literally for doing nothing.
Did you guys search him? Jalen. Huh? Jalen is his first name. Did you search him at all? So you know nothing found on this individual. So here's the deal.
I don't know what that means.
Herald Star.
And here's the deal, Jalen. You were with because you guys were together. You guys were together. Look, if I go to a robbery and I look at Buddy,
we're not doing that though. We're not doing that. Listen, we're not doing it. We're not going to even make up stories, man. Just don't do that, please. It's not that. It's not like that. I'm not, man. I own my own business.
I appreciate that, and that's awesome to me. So here's the deal. I'm going to run back in, check the video. Nothing was taken on you. We're
I
going to
didn't take anything.
Okay. I'm going to go do
Then
this.
why are you still standing here?
Well, I'm waiting for her to get the video pulled.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm telling you, as a man,
do we have good contact information
you're
for
not getting nothing from me.
Okay. Perfect. Hang tight for me and I'll
Except for your supervisor's number and badge number and all the officers here.
That's me. So I'm Sergeant
Well, yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder and he's belligerent because of it, and it's a problem. Like, it makes this way harder to defend. It's still defendable because his rights are being fucking absolutely violated, but it makes it more difficult to get sympathetic ears in Jalen over here.
Yeah, man, thank you. Thank you. I just don't know why it was. I don't know why you guys didn't chase him if he did something wrong. You're not trespassing me nothing, bro. You're not trespassing me nothing, homie.
Oh no, they want you trespassing.
I don't care. You're not trespassing me nothing. I already told you, sucker. I'm not with your.
Okay, well,
take these handcuffs off. Yeah, I know, sucker.
In the trespass form, we're going
and suck my afterwards too. Yeah, hurry up, wait. Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up!
So I'm gonna.
Yeah, that did feel like they solicited a trespass from the owner of the store. I don't recall the store owner saying that. We didn't hear that ourselves, and you said, "Oh yeah, no, they want to trespass." Really? Do they really? I want to hear that from my accuser. I want to hear that from the person who wants to trespass me. If it's true, then fine, I will respect the decision, but this seems like, yeah, it seems like the cops solicited a trespass from the store owner, just as a power flex. Yes, you are absolutely right. The store can trespass anyone they want to, but what I'm saying is the cop went up to the store owner, said, hey, can we, basically ask to trespass this guy? And the store owner, not wanting to deal with the cops in this situation in general, decided to, yeah, go ahead and trespass him. That's how that went out. I get, because this did not start out with the store owner wanting to trespass this person. This is not how this started. So, I can properly surmise that this cop right here, this little asshole, probably solicited a, trespass, from the store owner.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna.
No, you're not gonna hold on nothing. Take the handcuffs off because you're illegally detained.
Dude, you're getting too upset.
In the store,
Shut the f up. Show me where he stole them.
Working on it.
Yeah. Suck my mother.
When I take this right hand out, it goes in the car.
Yeah, it's not going nowhere but up the mother. In my mother pocket. Yeah, turn your mother badge on.
Oh my God.
Don't be looking at my.
Look at that.
No, you don't need to be looking at my. No.
Yeah,
again, this guy's just being way too combative.
This is used, man. This is used, man. Hey, man, you need to chill the f out trying to say people stealing. You're a sucker. You know my mother.
See, he gets more and more angry. Yeah, I can tell that, this is just this guy's pride. This is just, he cannot handle being accused of stealing, because that guy just fucking would to kill, oh, look, this looks like it might be sold. This is used, you asshole. And he got even more upset. That's what this is about. The reason why is this guy probably has problems controlling his anger. He is being wrongfully accused multiple times, and it's pissing him off. Now, that is no excuse for his behavior's conduct, but the cops are absolutely violating his rights, and he's absolutely within his, rights to be upset about that. It's just about how you conduct yourself. You know, I want to make sure this guy doesn't fucking end up in a cell, and he's doing everything he can right now to end up in a cell, even though he shouldn't be.
You're trespassing.
Yeah, suck my.
Come back or you will be arrested.
The you think I am, sucker? Give me your badge. Give me your name and badge.
Step back. I already gave you my name.
Give it to me now.
Step away from me.
Give me your shit, bro. You guys are gonna get up.
Okay, so can you grab this stuff? So you're not
Suck that. Give me all your information. Not on here.
Yeah,
you're gonna
okay. Look. Look. The body cam, all the stuff is here. What you need to do is you need to walk away. then you need to call your lawyer or call a lawyer. But you were just let go, and I have a problem with him turning back and then demanding the badge number and all that. Because, dude, you've been let go. You go away. Go away. Separate and fucking contact your lawyer so you can figure out this stuff, because we can get all this information. We can figure out what officers were involved without you demanding the name and badge number right there. Yeah, better call Eva.
Grab one out your pocket. Grab one out your pocket, dude. Okay, call 911, sir. You guys think this is a game?
I don't think it's a game.
Oh, it's you know how many officers I have open cases with? You know who the I am? No, go inside that computer, look up my name.
Yeah, see, this is where, see, this is even now, this is, I don't like this. I don't like this. Like, why are you pulling a Karen here? You're crashing out. Like, you need to stop.
You're gonna be real trippy out who the I am, homie.
I'll be back with you in just a second. I'm gonna go see if I can find a card for you. Where's your fucking car? You don't get to follow me around.
Man,
it's not gonna work this way.
Listen, bro, go to your car and get your.
Tell me what to do.
Go to your car and get your. Hurry up!
Hurry up! We're done. All right, we're done. We're done. Sorry. I'm sorry. Again, like at this point, he's egging them on. He's harassing. It's disturbing the peace. Any number of other things. Like we're done with this. There's another couple of minutes about it, but yeah, I'm sorry. I understand recognizing your rights, but this guy is way overboard here. Like, seriously, it's not appropriate what he's doing here. I just gotta say that right now. But thank you very much for reacting to contact with me for the last couple hours, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell as hard as you possibly can, and we will see you all on the next one.
You got anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division? Oh, you know it, lad. You know that, Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house. Or in the ring? No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him. And wear his makeup and his dresses and use his skin as a coat like the ancient Irish did. Well, that's your winner.
You are coping the seething. You just can't believe what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping the seething. The truth it is all day, and now you are molding.